All right, boys and girls, I want you to read about Quebec's independence movement. There are two worksheets. You'll have one to do for today on Tuesday, and you can continue this video and work on sheet two on Wednesday. Basically, there is a fill in the blanks. You're going to get information about Quebec. It's located in eastern Canada, as you can see. It's the largest of the Canadian provinces. It has the second largest population. A large part of the Canadian industry is centered in Quebec. Electronics and computer factories are based there. Feel free to pause the video at any time to copy down what you need to get on your notes. And obviously, you should know where Quebec is located based off all our political and physical map information we've done the past few weeks. Montreal, beautiful city, highly populated. Quebec, French is the official language of business and government in Quebec, and it's spoken by 90% of the people who live there. Over 50 years, many of Quebec's citizens have argued that their province should be separate from Canada and become its own independent country. Why? Well, in 1608, the French established their first permanent settlement in New World in New France, which is now Quebec. Many French settlers moved there and participated in a highly profitable fur trade. Great Britain wanted a share of Canada's valuable natural resources, so they fought the French and Indian War in 1763. There's Samuel de Champlain, who built the very first permanent French settlement in the New World, which they called Quebec. And there you see some of the fur. There's some hats made of beaver fur. You can see all the different kinds of fur. And there we go. A lasting impact. The British won the war and divided Canada into Upper Canada, which is the British, and Lower Canada, the French, in 1791. The two colonizing countries still have an impact on Canada culture and language and religion today. Protestants came from England and Catholics came from France. They also influenced the traditions of food, architecture, and that is prominent in Canada today. And there is the upper and lower map, as you can see, back in 1791. Change. In 1837, colonists grew unhappy with the British government and began to rebel. Great Britain did not want to repeat what just happened in the American Revolution. So Great Britain set up a government where the Canadian colonists governed themselves, except in matters of foreign trade, treaties, and defense. A new country. In 1867, the British North American Act created the Dominion of Canada. This meant that Canada was an independent, self governing nation, but it was still part of the British Empire. The new country had now four provinces: Quebec, Ontario, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. And there is the map. As for the influence, more and more people moved from France to Quebec over the years, and French became the official language of the provinces, spoken by 90% of the population. Although Canada was united in 1867, the province of Quebec is still an island of French language and culture within the country. Francophones. Most French Canadian families have been living in Quebec for hundreds of years. French speaking Quebecers, called Francophones, had a different culture than English speaking Canadians, Anglophones. The majority would live on farms and rarely left their villages. Most French Canadians were Catholic, while the majority of British Canadians were Protestant.